Yo. Yo, yo, yo. We are live. It is Tusk Talk 25. Live again for another weekly seminar and why you're underinvested in the Frozen Walrus ecosystem. Welcome everybody. I hope everybody's enjoying their week. I hope everybody is having a good week and a good Friday. There's a lot to talk about. We just released the Glacier docs about 20 minutes ago, and I'll explain why there's some vague things in there, and I'll also explain some of the stuff we're doing that I can announce that you won't see in the documentation. Kind of a pitch deck almost that me and Owen have put together for some of the VC funding, and I want to be able to provide that to the community as well. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the recent adjustment in the Walrus Anglers Club. And then we'll talk about X Walrus and the ecosystem that we have right now. So buckle in, get comfy. Hopefully everybody kind of enjoys it like that, and we can just talk about it. And if you have any questions, of course, Dylan will be monitoring the YouTube chat and the AMA chat in the Discord. And we'll take questions from there. So, yeah. Welcome everybody. Dylan, how you feeling on Friday?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Feeling really good. I'm glad those Glacier docs are out. I know people have been waiting on those for a while.
Yeah. I've been wanting to get them out. I'll be honest, I think I say it every time, I'm just not rushing this. This project scope has gotten so massive. And I really just want it to be a full-fledged product that whenever you as a user get on it, you say, wow, this is where I want to go to like trade my currency. And if I can get you all as my community to say that, obviously a little bit biased, but we have a better chance of other people coming from the outside saying, this is a product that I want to continue to use on Avalanche. I want this to be where I host my liquidity. I want this to be where I do X, Y, and Z. So that's really what I'm going for with Glacier. I am trying to make it as big as possible. Owen is trying to make it as big as possible. Everybody on the team wants that success. They want this win, and we want to build this out during this bear market so that we can be a large market share of AVAX, quite frankly, whenever things are looking back up in the market, because this bear market will not last forever, even though it feels like it. It just won't, and we want to be the go-to product of balancer tech on AVAX. And right now there's no competition. I know some other projects are looking to release balancer deck on AVAX, and good luck to them. I know my capabilities in the space, and I know the people that I work with, and I know their capabilities, and I haven't felt this confident in something in a very long time. I think that we will prevail as the leading balancer tech on AVAX. That's how we're planning it, and that's how I feel personally. And I really don't hype people up very often. I don't hype up my own products. I don't do any of that. So when I do it, I hope that means something when you actually hear me saying that I'm excited, and I think that Glacier is going to be an awesome product. So let's see. What do we talk about first? Anybody got any preferences? Let me turn the bot down just a hair one more time. I can just pause him. It's cool. Walter, you can come back in later. Yeah, so somebody just added me in general. I am going to try and keep it slow so that we can make a full hour and not hit you with a ton of information all at once. Also, one thing that I do want to do with the Tusk Talks in the future is to plan accordingly and get them out earlier. Usually I'm setting them out like 2 or 3 days before. That's for my YouTube and for my Discord. I'd like to set them up like next day. So like have an event set up and already advertise it for the following. I think that we'll get more user engagement, even though we still pull in pretty good numbers for Ask Me Anythings between the YouTube and the Discord. But it is some housekeeping that needs to be done. Maybe one of the mods can help me out and consistently set that event up after this one ends. So, yeah, if you didn't know, another good thing about Glacier is that our partners over at Magic, Avery and Jimmy, although Jimmy didn't do it, but I think he is soon, But our friend Avery here is actually doxxed. He came on, showed off his neck beard, and met his community. But it's still pretty cool. So pretty much we have a fully doxxed team on Glacier. Me, my brother, Steve from Grape. We have Owen. We have Jimmy and Avery and Jumpman. All of us are completely doxxed and our faces are out there. So that's a pretty cool step forward, right?
And Madrid.
And Madrid.
And Madrid.
Madrid's the best
He
team
felt left out.
Madrid's the best team player that never was. He's not on our team officially, but he low-key gave us the key to the secret sauce. So I can always say that I appreciate Madrid. And
Is he our Colonel Sanders right now?
I don't know. What does that mean?
Well, he's got the 11 herbs and spices, the secret recipe.
He's got the secret sauce, no doubt. Yeah, so update on X Walrus. So we can start there. Oh, my God. That man's eating ramen out of his beard. That's insane. Yeah, so first off, let's talk about X Walrus. We are at 43% of the total supply currently minted. 181,000 walrus burned. It is costing 1.185 walrus per X walrus minted. So it is going up. And if you look at win.frozenwalrus.finance, our prize pool, it is already at 1 day in $1,000 worth of X Walrus, 1,300 to be exact. There is 4,000 X Walrus already up for grabs. So if you haven't got a ticket, I would strongly urge you to do that. There is now 2,199 tickets total. If you have W bonds or Walrus and you want to take a chance, I highly recommend to check it out. Yeah, it looks really good. And the first one ended, and we had someone win 7,000 Walrus, which I think is close to $2,000, a little bit over $2,000. So that's really cool. So congratulations to AFF9 for winning the big 7K prize pool. And now we start again. And this is all done completely automatic. I have no say in it. It's done through X Walrus mints, Walrus tickets, and W bond tickets. So it's really cool. I think it's going to be something that can kind of perpetuate even more X Walrus being minted. If you're a user that likes these kind of services, it is a utility technically. So I'm excited about that. And then also, I did make the announcement that there is a website floating out there that my mods have started testing for me. And they can tell you in chat how good it looks and how well it's working. But that is going to be done sometime early next week. We're just finalizing some of the details. They are testing it for me. They're my QA testers now, the mods with many hats. But even they also has said that it does look really good. And you all have seen most of the products that are available through there. But it really takes the Tomb Fork and just kind of takes us away from all that nasty navigation menu that's just so prevalent in all the Tomb Fork scene right now. There's so much. It is so confusing, and this one is really like an engaging professional platform where you can go in, see everything you want to see. There's accordion menus and sliders, and it really puts us at the next level for X Walrus and Walrus and the entire ecosystem and everything we add in the future. And so I'm really, really, really excited to get that out before Glacier. I think that's going to be an awesome coexistence of a really cool Glacier website being synthwave themed, and then also this very professional, simplistic look of our new website. Maybe some people don't maybe see the value in that, but UX and UI is so important in DeFi because that's really one of our products. How professional do we look? And at the end of the day, it does give the investor almost like a sense of safety based on the effort that goes into the UI UX. Nobody cares about the contracts, even though that is the important part. The UI UX really gives, it's like whenever you meet someone new and you base it off of, like a new significant other, you base a little bit off of that, off of some kind of physical attraction. And so it's the same basis here that, if you're going to pair your assets in Frozen Walrus, do you have some physical attraction to the website? And if you do, you might
Austin, do you have physical attraction to the website?
I do,
Do you
a little
want to
bit.
talk about
A
it?
little bit. A little bit. Yeah, I love it,
That's
man.
high praise, guys.
I love UI UX. I really do. I think it's one of the coolest things that you can do in DeFi, and making Web3 look like a Web2 product, and the integration of how a user goes from start to finish. Like, do you want, like, so right now our website is like really convoluted, and you have to click 15 tabs to get the exact same shit done. But this one really simplifies it, allowing it to be almost single page for all of the hot topics like rebates, nodes, bonds, boardroom. All of that is on one single page with accordion menus. And then, of course, you have links to our media, our docs, DeFi products that we'll have. We'll have a link to Glacier on there. So it's just, and then also we have all new icons, all new logos. And so we're going to be uploading those so that it pulls with MetaMask, and so that everybody can see our new logos for X, Walrus, Walrus Bond, Walrus Share, Narwhal, all of our currencies that they're paired to, everything's been redone. So I'm very excited about it, if you can't tell. Never forget, I'm still drinking it. I still got the same one. Yeah, so that's my thoughts and feelings on the website. It'll really tie everything together, because as you can see, the prize pool and X Walrus itself, both of these websites that are independent of our own website are structured in a way to match our new design structure. And we may touch it up a little bit, but for the most part, they really do match. I would like to host it locally, so I may end up bringing it over so that you can do that on the website as well, so that you don't have to go through a bunch of menus. That's my thinking anyway, so. Yeah. And now we could talk about Walrus Anglers Club. So Sean has been busting his ass trying to get us those KA3s that we had lost our original purchase on. Not lost, but obviously we took our investment back out for safety based on the supplier and some of the things that we were seeing. We did it for safety. So we had about 80K, about 90K after canceling the lease. And we linked up with Ace Miners a lot to help us out. And Sean found his own person to source out the KA3s. And we have a pricing for these for up to 200 units. And I think we actually got them. Damn it, Sean, I wish you were here. I think he actually ended up getting them for about 9,500, which is pretty much fair market price. So we bought 11 of those. And the great thing about this facility in Washington that we've moved to, this remote facility, is we don't have to pay the lease. We don't have to pay the cooling, the installation. All of it's in-house, done, and we can scale. So beforehand, we would have to buy a lease and also be able to afford all of the miners to fill that lease. Otherwise, we're losing money. But now we take that upfront cost out. We can just scale these pods that we've bought as big as we want. So if we have 10 miners and then we get enough mints for 5 more miners, we'll just order 5 more miners and we'll add it to our pile, and our hash rate goes up. If we want 40 miners, 100 miners, the scalability is now there that we can provide you all a better service. We also updated the white paper so that users are able to see some of the different scenarios. And again, it's without compounding at all, which is kind of ridiculous to think that we won't ever compound KDA. But there's some with price appreciation. There's some with increased difficulty and flat prices. It really shows you how much effort Sean is putting in to this product, because he's the one that did all of that. And yeah, so I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with the move and the transition and being able to link up with Ace Miners. Of course, they offer a similar service over on Ethereum, and they were very gracious to help us out. And we're also able to offer this service to other platforms and users. So it's pretty cool. I'm very happy with it. And we're nearing 1,000 mints on Walrus Anglers Club, which is cool. I told you guys it was going to be a slower mint, and it is. I do have to do some more marketing, and we have about a 30K headway on that. So I can use a little bit of that for marketing, doing some more AMAs like James Pelton and Yabonks to keep user engagement. Obviously, Hydro Wells is still in Dubai. I'm looking for them for maybe next week or the week after that. But we're good right now. You know, if all things fail and we don't sell another NFT, we're good. We're still going to be making money on the ones that we have. Your NFTs can earn as early as right now. So, well, obviously not right now. We still have to do everything. But I'm just saying, worst case scenario, we don't sell anything. we're still okay. So, yeah, that's the Walrus Anglers Club update. The X Walrus. I'd actually love to see X Walrus finally hit the 50% mark, because I think that's going to be pretty crazy. Is that when we see that happen, and Glacier nearing its launch, we're still a ways out, but still being able to put all this in this X Walrus contract, and really bottlenecking the supply is going to start showing some effects whenever demand really hits. And we're not done with trying to provide demand for people that want to come into X Walrus or marketing or anything like that. Just that I think that Glacier is one of our biggest as far as demand driving. So,
That's huge.
So the Glacier docks. Well, hold on. Let me pause there. Let me slow it down.
Pause.
I went 22 minutes on that. Usually I spit that out in 10 minutes.
No, you went 16. Roughly.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We've been live for a little bit. What kind of questions we got? Anything?
We've got a couple. Let's see here. We can start with Stargazer's question from earlier this week. Actually, I think it was yesterday. Let me scroll back up because it had quite a example to it. It was a great question. It would be helpful to explain the process of launching Glacier in general terms. In his example, seek large investors to provide initial liquidity issue Glacier tokens to large investors, set up the initial. He just wants to know, step by step how you intend on launching.
Sure. So I'll be pretty transparent with what we're doing. We'll probably start doing VC funding for the next 3 weeks. Just allowing certain users with a bigger risk tolerance to look at what we're going to be producing and kind of what benefits they get. But understand, if you're a VC, the way that we're gearing it, and this will become clear later whenever we release more information about what we're doing, especially the pools and stuff. As you can see, they're not there. They're gonna be locking for a significant amount of time with some of their capital, so they're not going to be very liquid. So really, their main ploy is being able to get voting governance and also early Glacier supply that will be farmable, right? And so obviously that all has to be spoken with independently with each investor that is interested. So that's the first step. Once we secure funding for that is for runway for the team, initial liquidity, marketing, and audits. So once we start getting that funding, we're going to be looking to do a heavy marketing push so that we can get some brand recognition out, saying, hey, look, we have a new balancer coming out via Dow King and maybe even some bigger YouTubes, depending on the funding that we do get. I'm still looking for Ava Labs and bigger, and maybe even Avalanche, because the stuff that we're bringing, I won't say that word, the ways that we're playing with Grape and Magic and everything that's involved there, it's not offered on Avalanche currently. These set of tools, this centric or this many products working together at once to give a user a full set of tools, financial tools. And so I really want to drive home to Avalanche how big of a deal this can be for Avalanche, because historically Avalanche isn't like business oriented or investor focused. It's more like GameFi and NFTs, and it's a bit stale on the LP providing and the borrowing and lending, and obviously Vinium is an answer to that, and I think we're an answer to a couple other things. So just to keep it clear, and I still have to explain some of this before I can just go out and say it, but we'll do VC funding for the next 3 weeks. We'll use that VC funding for runway for the team, for initial liquidity, for marketing, and then I also want to do audits. I want to make sure that we are fully audited, because some of these are custom solutions that we're building into. It's not just a one-to-one balancer fork. There is some custom solutions in there, so of course there has to be some safety involved with that. And then we will start working on a liquidity migration plan to allow our users to move liquidity over, and also maybe some partner protocols can move their liquidity over. And then, of course, we have the launch of Glacier. I think that's kind of the gist of it. Is really these next 3 weeks, these next 3 to 4 weeks, or however long it takes, is pretty important for us, because we need to make sure that we secure enough funding. And then we also need to make sure that we do the marketing to get brand recognition so that we can actually get deep TVL. And I'm telling you, when more information comes out and we're able to release it, nobody's really expecting what we're doing, and that's the reason that we're not saying it. Um,
Nobody's even guessed it, which is surprising because I've been looking.
yeah,
I
it's
I
just
wanted to see it.
the biggest hint I can give is just layering stuff on top of just a normal AMM. We've taken the balancer tech. We're going to layer this and this and this, and we're going to make this synonymous project that works together and allows a user to do a lot of different things via the platform. And so, with that being known, also obviously with Magic working with us hand in hand, we're gonna have obviously auto compounding vaults day one, so that if you are a long term investor and you want to soak up some of the early stuff, and we also have, maybe I shouldn't say that. This is the hard
Yep.
part about speaking
Yeah, I
about
was
it,
gonna say chill it out.
is that there's some things that I just
Here,
can't release.
I got
Okay,
another
never mind, never mind,
question.
never mind, never mind. It is out. So one of the big differences that you'll see with Balancer or Beats or anything else is they have one governance pool, and it's usually a 70-30 or an 80-20, and then that is the weighted of the pool. What we're actually doing is offering two governance pools. There's a 90-10, which is pretty much single staking, and then there's a 60-40, which is obviously a little bit higher. And what we're doing with that is allowing a smaller amount of governance for the single staking pool and then a bigger governance for the 60-40 pool, because obviously you're taking a bigger risk. And that's going to promote a lot of deep liquidity into Glacier. And it talks about it. If you go into the docs and look at Glacier liquidity staking, Owen's made an amazing section to talk about the differences between these and the fee structures. And one of the big things that we touched on, and one of the big things that Owen had explained to me whenever we were talking about this, is we don't want an only up token. That would be ridiculous. But what we really wanted to get away from is the farm token just being dumped, is the Glacier token just being dumped. And so what we're doing is incentivizing it to be used in the platform in a healthy way. And there's a lot of burn mechanics in the trading of Glacier. And so what we're trying to do is constantly, eventually there's a logarithmic curve or an exponential curve, I think is the correct term, where it drops off in how much is being emitted a day, being Glacier. And then the deflationary mechanisms will be going up. And so there will always be these points, the X marks the spots, of where there will be extra volatility in the token because there's less supply than there is demand. And constantly adding that throughout the token's life cycle will allow these volatility spurts to allow for healthy corrections and traders to buy in, which of course we need. And so we're doing things like this just a little bit differently than other balancer forks, and we're trying to solve the issue that comes with having a farm token. And not to mention all of the things that you're going to be able to use Glacier token for. Some of those things that are financially gainful for you, but other things that are just as a user that wants to use the platform, right? We don't always have to incentivize you to burn your tokens or to use your tokens in a way that gives you money back. There's 1,000 different ways that you can incentivize a user to stay on your platform and use those tokens up for something else, right? And something simple. And so we're trying to layer all of these things in and allow a user to interact with the protocol and also allow the protocol to maintain its health at all times. And again, that's about the most I can say for that. I would say under the protocol section of the docs, you can really get a lot of the meat and potatoes of what Glacier is going to have. And it's going to be cool, right? It's going to be a really cool amount of tools that we're giving you, and I think that everybody's going to be kind of surprised that we're not just doing a one-to-one balancer fork. It's just what everybody thought we were kind of doing, but it's not. It's just not. We're not doing that, and you're guys going to see that whenever you see the farms that we're opening up, and the allocations, and how much thought really went into every single thing that we've added here. So I do urge you guys, I highly encourage you to read over the docs once. It is a little bit of high level comparatively to some of my videos, but we'll break it down over time.
All right. Stargazer also had another question, which was LHB mentioned that the protocol has about 50% of Walrus share locked up. I can see about 21% in the Treasury wallet. Where is the other 29% held?
Yeah, it's held in a couple of close friends' wallets. That sounds bad. Obviously, Beyond holds a pretty large portion. He's a big investor, not just the treasury manager. There's another whale that hasn't sold since Snowy Owl. He holds a large portion. I hold a pretty decent portion. There's some other members that hold large portions. Of course, it's not the treasury, but these are ones that are not getting sold. It's more than that for the people that are holding it. But also there's another contract for the minting that holds some, and that's kind of how it is. And obviously these numbers are going to go up and down because Walrus share is emitting every single day, so that number is going to slide back and forth. But we do hold a pretty good majority of it, and it is increasing via every mint and everybody purchasing it out of the LP pools.
All right. Tampa, will noting still be a thing after the liquidity migration, and will it still be worth it seeing the juicy 0.06% daily?
Yes, I understand that nodes are a sore subject. It does suck, right? I've launched the project or the product of nodes, and it helped us out a lot. It helped us out greatly. But for me to go in and do anything else to them would require capital that I don't have. Our treasury has $11,000 in it. It would just be insane for me to keep here and saying, I'm going to bail the nodes out because everybody's pretty much got 100%. I don't think anybody lost. Obviously, USD value, some people have lost. But what we're going to be doing is obviously during the liquidity migration, I'll be unlocking that at some point. And again, you will have way prior notice. This is not a notice of saying, hey, it's going to happen anytime. It will have a lot of notice behind it. You'll know as long as you stay active in the Discord to some extent, you will see a countdown, something, and we'll unlock those nodes and allow all the users to get all of their how much they have left, right? However much is left that they haven't claimed yet, then we'll just give that out and allow people to move their liquidity over. So it's one of those things that sucks because but it is up to the community to constantly add nodes back in there and people stop compounding. Obviously, with the big bank run, people stop compounding. So I can't make those lucrative without other investors coming into it. And since no one is, it makes it very difficult for me to do anything about it. So that is where I'm at with it.
All right. How happy are you with the mint out so far? What other plans are there in place for marketing? FYI, the pivots outlined in the recent announcement were very nice indeed.
I think it's going well. We're almost at 1,000 minters. I'm also really excited because it's not relying on how many we've minted for users to profit off of it. So that's something that you all don't have to be concerned about. Obviously, I would love more capital to be able to deploy more ASIC miners, but I'm also okay with just keeping it grassroots and just climbing the ladder as we go. And as people see them as lucrative investments, people will start buying them. Also, marketing, of course. I've been really focused on Glacier this week, also with Walrus Anglers Club, but I'm trying to time manage the best I can. Even days where I'm like, oh man, I don't have that much to do, I end up having like 4 meetings that day. So I am going to start marketing again. I just wanted to see how much the James Pelton and Yabonk's interview did so that I could say, oh, this is how much we should expect from this many subscribers. What can we do different? What can I say different? What can sell these better? So I think I have a pretty good idea of that so that when we go back into Twitter Spaces with Hydro Wells or whoever else, we have a better platform and a better game plan of how to approach it. But I still think that 926 mints, 92K was spent on these NFTs. I think that's still really good. Obviously everything we do is kind of grassroots and underground. We always seem to be the underdogs whenever we sell a service because I never oversell anything. I don't try and over market stuff. So at the end of the day, that's where the low amount of mints is. I could blow 40K on marketing right now and probably get plenty of mints. But I don't do things like that. And so what I've been able to provide to you all as already mentors is saying, hey, look, it doesn't matter. It's okay if nobody else mints. We still have 11 ASIC miners on the way. And quite honestly, we'll probably purchase some more throughout that process. So being able to offer that to you all makes me feel a little bit better about being able to keep my marketing style that I've always had and also still be in line with what I've said that I was going to offer NFT buyers. So What
All
else?
right. Disco Chuck. Will Glacier use Magic Farm vaults in the same way Beethoven is using Reaper Farm? Specifically, how they use liquidity that mostly just sits there and put it in a vault magic to provide boosted pools. Basically, how Beethoven is leveraging Reaper to do the same.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna be working a lot with magic farms and being able to provide and new incentives and structures there, especially with our own farms, right? Like people seem to forget that once we do that, right, we'll be able to reduce our APRs a little bit or have lower APRs for the time being and allow people to farm Glacier. And Glacier is a new hot topic, and if we have users that want to engage with Glacier, they're not selling that either. But also, we'll have auto compounders that are selling Glacier to increase our original position in Walrus and Walrus Share and all of those LPs. So we'll thicken up liquidity via that. So I think that's going to be a huge positive for the entire platform. As long as users are engaging with it the right way, I think that Glacier is going to be a huge boost to our current liquidity. And I think it's going to address a lot of issues. And people are going to see the supply shock by X Walrus at that time to some extent. And then everybody's going to be trying to provide more liquidity, but there won't be supply for it. So it's going to be an interesting process, and I'm excited to see it.
All right. Dino on the YouTube wants to know how many skilled devs will be involved in the Glacier Decks project. The reason I'm asking is Balancer Deck seems to have issues and requires skilled devs to fix it. Current one on BSC only has one guy and burnt out.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
Did
one
you
of the
see what Avery
things.
just said?
No skill
Avery said
devs.
no skilled devs, but many devs.
Yeah, so it's a really good question. It's something that me and Owen and the entire team, that's one of the things is I want this a scalable team, and the way that we're going to do that is obviously get some runway for an increased dev team in the VC funding, but also the developer fund will be used to increase the team size over time. But we have Jimmy, who's an amazing back end. We have Jumpman, who's an amazing front end. We have Vincent, who does security exploits. So I feel very confident with that core team. But we also have a potential to bring on some extra devs that I have under my resources to increase, how fast we can produce stuff and how safely we can do it. So yes, the team is scalable, but any devs I bring on will be 100% trusted in the space and have a track record, and also probably be somewhat. I've probably already used them in the past. I don't like to trust a lot of devs, but I know some that are U.S. based that have LLCs here that I can use for contract basis. So I'm looking into all of that. Of course, it is a huge project. We know that, and we'll be scaling it out to make sure that we can provide the right amount of people for the product we're trying to produce.
All right. That was a good question, Dino. Tampa, is the Walrus Share USDCE farm for walrus farming here to stay, or will it also be gone after some time?
No, it'll be here to stay. As long as there's X Walrus minting, that Walrus Share farm will stay. It still has like 150K Walrus sitting in it. It just gives out a certain percentage every single day. So you'll likely see that farm up for quite some time at these APRs.
All right. And Brett's, guys, Walrus Share LP will be 90-10, or what will it be? I assume he's talking about Glacier.
So we have a couple different ways that we're going to play that pool. We're thinking maybe 75-25 is something that me and Owen discussed. 75-25, 80-20, doesn't matter. It's one of those. It'll be heavily Walrus Share. It'll have more Walrus Share in it than it will USDC.E. So, yeah.
All right, that's all the questions I have so far.
Awesome. A lot of good questions, guys. Yeah, so there's a lot of things obviously I can't speak about with Glacier, and I hate doing that, but there is reasons for it. There's products that will be involved in Glacier that aren't announced, that is, going to be integrated in Glacier. And those things I can't speak on, right? And when they do come out, maybe people can start putting the pieces together and we can start making bigger announcements. But at the end of the day, just know that what you see on this documentation is the good bare bones aspect of what Glacier will be, but by no means is it all of the features and products that we plan to release for it. Yeah, so I mean, a couple of the pitches that we have is obviously balancer decks with index funds, AMM smart routing, bribe wars, governance for incentives, business to business focus, P2P marketplaces around bidding for governance, integrated ecosystems for synergistic products. Will be easy for easy user onboarding features, and that's a big one. Is that we want to make sure that if you're an experienced user or a new user to DeFi, the DEX feels the same. If you want more, I want the ability in the UX to be able to say, yes, I can just turn these features on, and you as a user can say, cool, that's what I want. That section I can't talk about. I don't know that I can talk about that one. Obviously, borrowing and lending through Vinium. Single stake Glacier utilities, maybe something for this one. I was already speaking about it, but what can you do with the Glacier? One of the initial thoughts that we had is deposit Glacier and get a fee reduction on flash loans, because that is an offer, that is a service that Balancer Tech can offer as flash loans. So maybe you can deposit Glacier and get some kind of fee reduction. But that is just obviously one. We have 2 governance pools, one essentially single staking with less governance, and 2 with higher L1 asset pairing for more risk versus reward. Long-term store of value, exponentially reducing supply emitted versus burn features native to the DEX. Best returns for LP providers and most flexibility. And fee models that adapt to market conditions. So, yeah. How's everybody liking that? Everybody kind of excited about it? I see some people are already interested in the VC funding, and I know that people have questions about certain things. Understand that if you want to be a VC or you want to get and be an early participant, we will have a pitch deck and a PDF document that will explain most of the questions you're probably already asking me in the DMs. And that's probably, and also I'm on the, I saw some people already messaging me. But that's also why I'm not responding, is because I'm on this Ask Me Anything. So I will respond to you later. Apologies. But yeah, I'm really excited, man. And Owen's really excited. The team has a lot of good momentum, and we have a lot of good relationships already built. So it just feels like second nature to be working with the Magic team. So I'm really excited.
Rad Dad Kidaloo wants to know, does this change the farms on Swapsicle or that relationship?
Likely it will change that relationship. I haven't talked with them for quite some time. They had initially asked me what Glacier was, and I meant to get into a conversation with them. Probably will later. Obviously, we're launching a DEX. We'll be hosting our own liquidity on all of our tokens, and it's no slight to them. But we think that Balancer Tech is something that could be used in Avalanche and benefit Frozen Walrus at the end of the day. So, Thrak asked, is it safe to assume that for Glacier farming, Walrus and Narwhal will LPs be involved to some extent? Of course. Of course. Our main focus is to provide as much liquidity on the platform as possible. A bunch of lock liquidity would be awesome, but also just liquidity in general, and making sure that we have a lucrative space, but also to benefit Walrus, Narwhal, and Walrus share via Glacier emissions as well. So yes. So just going to speak it out loud. It's going to be a case-to-case basis, so reach out to me even if I say a number that looks too high for you. I really want people to understand the risk involved with doing some kind of early investing. So I'm trying to make a number that is something that scares away people that were just going to throw in $1,000 or $2,000. This is not a pre-sale. This is for someone that sees long-term investing into an early product that they think can go far, right? So understand that is what VC is, and the difference between that and like saying, hey, we're going to pre-sell some of our Glacier tokens. That's not what this is. So our initial numbers were around 25K would be a minimum of a purchase. So just letting you guys know, that's what we're thinking. And it's very high for a reason, is because I don't want every average Joe on the street having access to it for good reason. These are these are people that will get, and you can see it in the GCL token supply on LGE. There is equity at stake here, and I have to make sure that we match me and the investor that will be putting money in, because at the end of the day, these people are taking a big risk, and I don't have the ability to bail you out. So the risk have to be apparent, and people that have already invested in these type of things. I'm not trying to just grab new DeFi users and say, hey, come do some VC funding. So that's just what I'm thinking originally.
GDB wants to know if that Walrus farm with the W share LP, if it'll still be open after PEG.
Yeah, of course.
There you go, GDB.
The play's the same. Oftentimes, honestly, we'll see Walrus share going into minting fresh Walrus, so that it'll go over to the boardroom, and so there will still be like an arbitrage of those two anyway, and it won't be any new Walrus hitting the market. It was already Walrus; it's just bottlenecked. So it honestly helps us at the end of the day, even if we are printing Walrus.
Dead air. Where's Walter? Why'd you mute him?
Oh, I was reading over the chat, seeing what people were saying.
It's my job.
I can take a break. Jesus Christ, I talk for fucking an hour straight. Allow me
It's not your MO.
to chill for a second and enjoy. Oh, also, Walrus Radio, we just produced 2 new episodes this week. We had Nick MB from Grape. He was on our macro show last night, and then we had Owen on Thursday night show. So I would highly recommend to listen to those. I think we're getting a lot better at the format, and I'm really enjoying doing it. They are very long. They're about 2.5 hours.
Not the macro show.
But fuck you guys. That's what podcasts are for.
Yeah, the macro show is like a appetizer.
Yeah.
Got like I think this week's was 40 minutes, so.
Relax, Dylan. We have a relationship with these people now. We can have dead air sometimes. It's okay.
That's fair.
Look,
If they're still here after all this time, they understand.
I'll resume Walter while we look for some questions to make sure everybody's answered. Everybody fucking relax, man. Oh, also merch store. I'm sure we'll get that out one day. Actually, the reason that we really haven't got the merch store, I haven't pushed it that hard, is because I wanted the new website out so that people buying the shirts weren't like, what the fuck is this logo? I got some kind of knockoff version of Walrus. So relax, everybody. You can buy shirts with my face on it soon. Please, Sean, no. No, Yield Nodes is an actual meme in our podcast now. So
I do have somebody for Walter's assistant this week.
Look at this bracelet my daughter gave me. Let's see if it'll. Let's see. Look at that little dinosaur. Isn't that cute?
Fucking wild. Oh yeah, look at that. She didn't make me one. Walter's assistant. I got one for the week.
Walter's assistant for the week, you say?
I do say.
Well, say it. Speak it.
Somebody that's been here for as long as I can fucking remember. He is always supportive. He is always messaging me on bad weeks to ask me how I'm doing. Just a fantastic guy. He's not been as active in the chats, but he's a busy motherfucker because he teaches quite a few martial arts and stuff. SSJ Ryu, I'm giving it to you this week. You are a fucking hero. I love you, buddy.
I brought him into DeFi.
He's fantastic.
He's my son.
I love talking to him.
He's my DeFi son.
That motherfucker would kick your head off and he wouldn't think twice about it.
I said DeFi son, brother.
He is scary powerful.
Well, good for you. You know what? Since we're giving them out willy-nilly, let's give Tampa as well.
Done.
Tampa needs it. Tampa's always in here asking questions. Always engaged.
Oh, I took away his game night role.
Tampa, I hope you like. He wants the yellow.
I'll work on it. I gotta find a way to make Ace blue again.
Oh, also, if anybody knows how the fuck to use grid bots, message me.
A lot of people here do.
I would like to use it for the treasury. I have one, again, that works on any pairing in DeFi. So if you know it, let me know. I just got a haircut for a fight tomorrow. Dang. SSJ Ryu, congrats, man. Yeah, that's true too, Sean. I'd be weary. How's everybody feeling, though, with all that information?
A lot. That was a huge info dump.
Yeah, man. I feel like we just literally, we're really changing the game. Or we're trying to. I'm just trying to make sure that Walrus looks as blue chip as Glacier's about to be. And that's the goal, right? And honestly, we're not done changing the tokenomics of Frozen Walrus. It's something that I scratch my head about all the time. Do I want to cap supply? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? What can I do to make the user engage in a healthy way in the platform without always looking to de-incentivize selling? That's what I'm looking for. And so, you know, we may have tokenomic structure changes in the Centaur's model over time. And that's something to be looking out for, is that, you know, Frozen Walrus isn't done maturing or expanding or changing, quite frankly. So just expect more changes to be made. And I'm just excited. I know that we're at 26 cents. But, you know, with 43% of the supply, you know, nobody's moving in DeFi. I was just looking at blue chip protocols in DeFi on Avalanche, and like Vector, Platypus, Yeti, all of these tokens were getting less volume than Walrus was. They were getting less than like 10K. So it's not just us. There's just nobody buying right now in DeFi. Nobody trusts anything other than, like, they don't even trust L1 pairings, right? So there's just not a lot of buying pressure anywhere in the market. So it's also something that I've realized that no matter what I do, there's always going to be a lack of market participants right now, and we can't fight that. So all we can do is supply shock ourselves and build demand for the next bull run, right? Yeah, Minnesota, and also again the DM. I will talk to you after. I know that you're wanting some extra information. I can provide that. But yes, of course, it'll be good for Walrus. Well, if we don't have any other
2 weeks
questions,
ago we were at 15 cents, and none of the supply locked up.
yeah. I mean, we had a ton of supply.
Think about that.
Bots, I'd suggest to connect with the dev Jack of Frostflakes, a good dev. Heard about Rusty, a good dev who made bots for DeFi Dude and Optimus. I have to check him out.
Said a lot of funny words, Magic Man.
Dino, I do have a vision of allowing KDA to bridge over to Avalanche and hosting their liquidity through Glacier. It would be awesome. That would be so cool if we could also provide that service. I just have to get in front of those guys. Mammoth also could be a potential. But right now I need to make sure that I want to keep the same structure of, we have to peg to print. Or, you know, maybe there's something else out there that the Centaur's model can be improved on before I introduce a new token with the same exact structure. Be cool. So we're looking into that, and I'm thinking on all angles. We're firing on all cylinders. Dang, wrong. That would be so cool if we could collateralize Bitcoin, the Bitcoin Mammoth with Bitcoin behind it. That would be awesome. Yeah, you could. The only way to get so like there's no printing of mammoth. There's only collateralizing into it, and then you can pair it for W share rewards. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? So you can claim it, or you can use like 1 Bitcoin to get 1 mammoth, and so it's always backed by 1 Bitcoin. But then you could also pair it with Bitcoin and get Walrus share rewards. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
Now you got the man thinking. Come
like
on,
that.
Frank. Get up here. There we go.
A lot of cool things we
He's
can
been
do.
on.
Obviously, that doesn't give the same utility as a third peg token. I agree with that, Sean. True that. Wrong lever, you do. You're always giving the alpha that never was. It's all, yeah, it is. It's all trial and error, right?
My cat's getting pissed off.
Well, Tom, it wouldn't affect the share price if we launched it like that, where you had to collateralize Bitcoin into making Mammoth and then allowing you to pair it. So I don't know. I don't know how we can play with it, but it would take a lot of thinking, obviously.
It's fuck. He said the word.
Stop it, GDB.
He said the fucking word.
Don't you dare put that on me. Don't you
Vietnam
Don't you
flashbacks.
put that on me, Bobby. Mute.
He deleted it. Can we include Head's pissed off cat in more videos? Come here, Willow. Come here.
Yeah, wrong lever. We could also do that. Is that we collateralize it, and then the pairing that we put in the glacier missions would be like Bitcoin, Mammoth, and W share all in the same pool. That would be really cool as well. Temporal ice, it happens. Everybody gets caught in cheese making sometimes.
I mean, if you don't get caught up in it, what are you really doing it for?
True that.
Is Glacier looking to be more than a balancer?
Yes.
Much more.
Glacier is everything. Glacier is love. Glacier is life.
It's the new Shrek.
No, it's one of those things that I just want to provide a really good service for DeFi, and I think Glacier has the opportunity because Avalanche is so barren for any kind of new tech like this, that I think that we can take advantage of this. And as early investors in my protocols, you all, of course, would get early stake into it. So it's awesome. Starting to sound like a cult. I'm already getting called a cult leader for some reason. That's true, wrong lever. It'd be like that. All right, guys, it's been fun. It's been exciting. I'm happy I finally got the docs out. Everything's moving forward. We have 3 big projects going on, and you're all here listening about them before they get good. So hopefully you're able to invest some, but obviously manage your risk. And it's been great talking to you guys. I hope you have a great weekend and a wonderful night. As always, walk an old lady across the street. Be positive. Don't go into every single like this world, man. The media. Let me get on a soapbox real quick. The media and everywhere in the world, man, they want you all fighting each other and getting mad at X, Y, and Z, or they just want you mad, and you don't have to be like that. You know, you can be happy without any of that. I highly suggest deleting TikTok and Facebook and any other social media platform. I highly suggest it. You know, if you don't have it in your life, you'll be much happier, I promise. And just be positive. Be a good person. You don't have to be in a religion to be a good person. You can just be a good person. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, 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 wonderful week. And we will see you next Friday. Dylan?
Next Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. They'll get the podcast on Thursday and then
Yeah.
us on Friday.
Yeah, I pretty much do something every single night, Monday through fucking Friday now.
Yeah, Wednesday through Friday we're filming something.
But that's it, guys. Enjoy your days. We don't know how many we have left. And if I die, bury me in satin. Taylor Swift said that first.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, Taylor Swift said that. If I die young, bury me in satin. Lay me down in a bed of roses. Right?
I'm disconnecting.
Right?
I'm disconnecting.
Yeah.
Adios, guys.
All right,
Good night.
see you
Taylor
guys.
Swift's where I draw the fucking line. Night, guys.
See you guys.